Hello, everybody. This is Measuration Mathematics Institute. In this video, we will look into mathematical operators with complex numbers. In our last video, we introduced the complex analysis to everyone and everyone, and we concluded with the basis of complex analysis to be the study of complex numbers and the mathematical operators involved. But in this video, we'll be bringing up the relationship between the mathematical operators with complex numbers with fashion design. Let's go through the abstract nature. We have concluded that a complex number has a form S plus IY, which is the same thing as A plus BI, depending on your choice. From this, we have mathematical operators which are positive, negative, multiplication, division, function of a particular z of this form. We also have a differential of z, depending on the tools you wish to use. From this, we are looking into some topics under the complex analysis that involves the combination of the complex numbers or complex variables with the operators. From this point, we have our z to be S plus IY, which we have known in the last video that this is the real part, this is an imaginary part. When you are putting in or fusing in or inputting a function which is a 2, function of z is what? Let's say z squared. Recall that we have our z to be what? S plus y. That is fz. It is what? S plus I. This leads us to a complex variable. This is a complex variable. This is the function of what? Complex variable. Now let's look into another subtopic. Let's say integral of f of s, f of z, dz. When we have the function integral of the function of z, dz, this leads us to what we call the complex integration. This is an integral sign, and we are discussing the complex variables here, complex numbers. It involves a complex integration. Let's look into the differential f prime of z. This gives us and leads us to what we call Cauchy-Riemann equation. Let's look into another one. This differential can also lead us to harmonic functions. The application of two mathematical operators as tools with complex numbers and complex variables lead to subtopics under complex analysis. Everything here is embedded under the core course complex analysis. We have established the fact that the combination of operators with complex numbers or complex variables has to do with all topics relating to complex analysis. But one thing is very, very sure here. We have the complex variables. The complex numbers are as numbers, like 4 plus 3i. When we also have this, we can easily transform this is a z plane. We can create another plane, w plane, which is when we have a w plane here, we have u plus ib. We have another plane to be 2 plus 5i. These two can easily lead to us to complex mapping. It can lead us to complex mapping, and also we have also what we call conformal mapping. Depending on what you want to use as a tool, that automatically brings up topics under the complex number. But how can we relate this to fashion designing? We have established the fact that we have a complex variable, the complex number. Because everything that has to do with this analysis has to become part of a complex. This part of a complex, you have it to be complex number, the complex variable. Let's look into the fashion designing. We all know that the fashion designer has to do with fabrics. That's their major tool. This thing leads to the same as the complex number, being the basic and the core course we are discussing. So the application of stone to a fabric, that stone is part of that work, leads us to the stoning process, which is the same thing as something like application of that tool leads to complex integration. We move to beading. The application of a bead to a fabric leads to a beading process. That takes another position, like harmonic functions. We move to whipping. The use of a whipping machine to sew the inner of a cloth is called the whipping process. And also we talk about the buttonhole. Buttonhole. The hole in the shirt can be created using a buttonhole machine. So this thing has to take charge of a particular operator. For the stoning, you have the stoning machine. For the beading, you have the beading machine. For the whipping, you have the whipping machine. For the buttonholes, you have the buttonhole machine. Likewise, we have said we have the function of z that has acted upon the complex numbers, giving rise to complex analysis. You have the differential that has led to Cauchy-Reymers equations, and also harmonic functions, and also the integral of the function of z has led to complex integration because of the inclusion of an integral in that complex numbers and complex variable. So we also have this positive, negative, multiplication, division. Those are elementary tools. Like we have the needle in fashion, we also have the zip, we also have the thread, we also have the hook. But these are major equipments that are used for a complex situation. So that is just about the mathematical operators with complex numbers. Good day.